Hey everybody, it's Greg Rice. We're here with the owners of Big Bear Hunting and Fishing. Say hello to Will and Andre.
Oh
yeah. And these guys here, we met actually, I would say 6 or 7 months ago. A good friend of mine, Jim Helly, teaches a situational awareness class at Big Bear. You should definitely check it out. It's the first Thursday of every month. Is that what it is?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. And it's free to the public. You're getting Jim. You're also getting Mark Palazzo and Ray Antea, over 100 years of experience at your disposal. So you better check that out. And that's how I got to know Will and then Andre. I got my blue card here, got my firearm here, and even joined Wallem Lake Rod and Gun, where Will's a member. Andre, you a member there too?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a big happy family over here. So how did you guys get to meet each other? You friends from back in the day? What's your relationship?
We were neighbors.
Neighbors?
Yes. So we were neighbors. I just moved away, and now we're trying to get him to move and be my new neighbor again.
Where'd you move to?
Gloucester. From Gloucester to Gloucester.
Okay. Street over?
Almost. Yeah, so we met, and I said, hey, look, I got a good business plan. You want to take a look at something? And that was basically it. We decided to partner up, and
Just like that.
just like that, right? It was easy,
Sign
right?
here.
Sign here. Bev and George, who had the business before us for 20-something years, it was time for them to move on.
Gotcha.
And I was a frequent at the original Big Bear, and knew that they wanted to move on.
Gotcha.
And go to greener pastures and retire up in Maine. And then talked to Andre about it, and we're here.
So it's the same name as it was before.
Yes.
You guys kept everything, for the most part, the same.
Yes. Yep.
Interesting. And what was it, 2016 that you got started? 2017? Is that what it says out there?
2016. Yeah. No.
November 22nd, 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not to be specific.
Not to be.
There's some dates that I remember, which is weird,
Yeah.
like that,
The fire.
and the fire. I remember that date.
You had a fire here?
The original Big Bear in the front of the building caught on fire from an electrical outlet in the bait shop.
Wow.
So at that moment, we basically lost everything. And we had this unit available. So when all of the lettered agencies came to us because of the fire, we moved into this one unit here. And then with the help of the community, we were able to start building stuff and putting walls up. And hence the new Big Bear 2.0 came about.
Gotcha.
And then we took over the last unit there and made the bait shop. So now we house 2 units here on the property.
So tell me exactly what you got going on here. You got a lot of stuff. The folks at home, maybe they want to get involved in something. Tell us what you guys do. Give me a list of different things that you offer here.
Yeah, I mean, I think, when I think about Big Bear, the biggest thing that we try to focus on is the service. Mm-hmm. Okay, so just the experience. We want people to come in and feel like they're welcome, like they're going to have a positive experience, mm-hmm. A learning experience. I think for me especially, actually, I feel comfortable talking for everyone behind the counter. We learn something every day. You know what I mean? So, and that's kind of the same way that we want people to come in and feel like they've come in and learned something as well. Because there is so much to learn. I would say overall, the experience and the education is really what we try to focus on. Mm-hmm. And the product, we try to keep up with what's hip, what's new, and then obviously a lot of the older stuff as well. So, we have different sections of the store that we kind of try to use for different seasons, mm-hmm. because, Rhode Island, New England, we do have 4 seasons, so there are different things that come and go. Right now, if you like to fish, saltwater fish, the stripers are here. So that's huge, and people go bananas over that.
Yeah.
We've learned over the past 5 years, again, that the seasons, right? Right now, if you're on the gun side of things, you're out, shooting skeet, trap, you're doing that type of sporting stuff. And then if you're on the fishing side of things, you're out, hitting the bay. And that's, we just got through trout season. We're also a fly shop. So a lot of guys, when trout, was restocked in all the ponds out here, all of our fly fishing gear, our fly classes, and just to touch up on also what Andre said is education is one of our pillars here. So we have, I think, some of the best educators in the community. So if you feel uncomfortable with something, we can get you in a class. We have introduction to shotgun class. We have introduction to fly fishing class, NRA basic pistol classes. So, this part of the year kind of starts tailing down a little bit on the firearm side and kind of goes up on the fishing side and just the outdoor stuff. A lot of ammunition's being sold right now because the guys are out, shooting things that they just maybe recently purchased over the winter. And then, August hits. Everybody's like, families are, vacationing. It's usually when we take our vacations around here because we know that when September hits, we're back into getting ready with our crossbow section and getting guys ready to start hunting, come fall. And then we go back into just work mode of, getting everybody everything they need, all the accessories for their hunting season.
Interesting.
Yep.
I always ask this to folks. I always ask, what's the favorite part of your job and what's your least favorite part? So take it away.
I would say the least favorite part of my job is figuring out what's for lunch every day.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
What a challenge.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. What are we going to have for lunch?
You guys don't have many restaurants out this way.
No, we do.
We do.
We have really
we try to
food,
mix
too.
it up.
Yeah, you try to mix it up.
You can only eat so many chicken parms in a week.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you go to, was that Frank and John's over there?
We do shout out to all the restaurants
Yeah,
we
all
eat
the
at.
restaurants. We love you
So
guys.
Frank and John's, Athens, Gentleman Farmer, which is right behind us.
Fresh pita.
Fresh Pita, The Hype, which is next to us, because they have if we want to go on the healthy side of things.
Yeah.
And plus they have their drinks actually keep us awake throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
I mean,
We do Cow's Tail.
Cow's
Shout
Tail,
out to Cow's
George's
Tails.
Pizza.
George's, yeah.
Hope we're not missing anybody. We're fortunate to be a busy store.
Yep.
And our selection. When people ask about our selection, I always say it's like the tide, right? Mondays we're wiped out because of a strong weekend,
Yep.
and then we order everything again to build up for the Friday. So it's never the same stuff in here every single week.
And you take trades too? People come in?
Oh yeah, we buy guns, we trade things, we have a consignment program. We buy estates, so unfortunately, of somebody passing and the family doesn't know what to do with it, they can bring them here. And we do a lot with local law enforcement as well. So if there's something going on and they need us to take the firearms, we do that. We work a lot with our local municipalities around us. We probably got about 7 municipalities that come in here. So yeah, we have quite a large selection, and then it's like I said, it's always changing. So when it comes to lunchtime, sometimes we don't eat till 2 o'clock.
No time for that.
That's why everything about this
Ain't
job.
nobody got time for that.
Everything I think about this job or owning this business with Andre, the positives way out far past the negatives. The people that come in here, it's always great conversation in here. Customers are always conversing with each other.
Yep.
And it's funny because you get people, a lot of ladies that come in here that might be kind of like, guns,
Yeah.
I'm interested in getting one, but, I'm nervous. We bust them right out of that.
Gotcha.
We want this experience to be, positive. And the one thing that I think that makes everybody kind of step back-ish or hold back is education. Mm-hmm. And, I can guarantee, because we've looked at our cameras, that none of these guns jump off the shelves and eat ammunition while we're home sleeping. Right? We kind of say things like that to make people feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
When somebody who's never held a firearm before feels really nervous about it, by the time they're done with us with 5 or 10 minutes, I think we kind of take that off the plate. And again, the education that we hit them with right off the bat, makes them feel really comfortable. And then we follow them up with, again, Mark Palazzo, Jim Helly, Ray and Taya. And those guys are here a lot too. So there is a chance that while you're shopping here, one of those guys will be around.
Yeah.
So besides, Andre and I giving them, an expert kind of, spiel.
Yeah.
To back it up with an instructor here in the class. I mean, we're both instructors, but.
And how did that come to be? How did the Jim, Mark, Ray show up?
Well, we met Mark first. I don't know if you want to tell him how.
Yeah, so Mark actually used to work here.
Okay.
And not under us. He used to work for George and Bev. So when we took over, he was there from the beginning, and he right off the bat, he's like, I want to see you guys succeed. I want to help you guys succeed. So Mark has been an instrumental part of our business and helping us grow and helping us learn things and stuff like that. He's become a good friend over the past few years. Ray. I'll never forget the first time I met Ray, because Ray, we used to be in the front building. Ray showed up in his box truck, and because he was a construction guy, and I don't know, he's just like this guy. He just walked in and I felt like I already knew him. It was just weird, but it was super extrovert, cool guy, nice to talk, person to talk to. I think we must have introduced Ray and Mark.
Yeah.
They must have met each other.
We're like, hey, we got to introduce you to somebody. Yeah.
I think they met through us, and they've become really good friends over the past few years.
And then I was at our monthly town one of our town meetings.
Yep.
And I met Jim, and Mr. Burlingame in town's like, Jim, you got to meet this guy Will, and then. We got on the subject of firearms, and then it was just instant, boom, love. Friends, love, and then I'm like, you got to meet Ray, and you got to meet Mark.
So you guys created that band.
But it almost feels like it was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was all of our kind of circles kind of aligned at the right time. And
Jim also, he started using RCPA, and RCPA also... I think it was right around the same time.
Yeah, Ukraine and Associates.
John Ukraine referred Jim to us because Jim was trying to start his new business.
Yep.
So I think that's how we introduced Jim, Mark, and Ray, because Jim was trying to start this thing that Mark kind of was similar to what Mark and Ray were doing.
Yep.
So hey, reach out to him. Super cool guy. He's local. And that's kind of how they hit it off. So, they're in the same industry, but they kind of focus on different target audiences, I would say. And they work really, really well together. And
just the pedigree of those three guys, not to get into, what they've done in their past, but I think it's a special thing.
It's remarkable.
Every store kind of has their thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of our...
100%.
One of our things, besides, everybody tries to have obviously great service and everybody wants to have those people coming back. And I think that unfortunately, the one of the positive, I hate to say positive things of COVID, was that, people who did not want to wait in 4-hour lines in other stores, they're like, another gun, let's go on Google, let's look for another gun shop. And they're like, Big Bear out, and wow, Gloucester, I got to pack a lunch.
Yep.
And a lot of them came out. I mean, we had our own lines, but that was our time to make an impression on possibly a new customer from outside of our Foster, Gloucester, Smithfield, Scituate, Johnston.
Well, you got me from Coventry.
Yeah. So, we had that opportunity during that time to make a good relationship with somebody, and we have people now that they come up here from Westerly. Mm-hmm. They have they're like, I take a beautiful ride down 102.
Yep.
Come up through the fields and the mountains of Gloucester to come see us. So I mean, we made a lot of good relationships through through such a horrible time. But
we're really not that far.
We're not that far.
We're really not that.
No.
We're like 7 minutes from 295.
Yeah. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. But again, it's like you can see we're a very data kind of driven business, And we look at those things, and we look at, pre-COVID, we had, probably like 3,500 names in our kind of our customer base, and now we're over 9,000. And, we, again, trying to make sure that everybody's experience is always positive. You can't hit it out of the park all the time, and there's going to be some people that, no matter what you do, pleasing them is going to be a challenge.
Exactly.
But we don't let that get to us. We treat everybody the same, whether or not you've been with us for the whole ride or you're just coming in the store for the first time.
Yep.
And I think one of the greatest things I experienced here under those challenges was I was working with a husband and wife who were really against firearms, and they were in here in a very kind of awkward way. And she grew up with firearms in the house from her father, and he was just never firearms, just was kind of against it. And I was talking with him a lot, and I can kind of do that from time to time. And Andre came over and was like, wow, And then the guy turned to one of our customers who was waiting in line and goes, I am so sorry that I'm taking up all this time. And the customer actually said to him, well, that's why I come in here, because I know that when I'm next, I know that amount of energy or that comfort is going to be there.
Yeah.
So
wow.
We try to do that with everybody that walks in the door. Again, we have a moral obligation, I think. Anybody can sell a firearm, but if you don't sell it with some form of education and trust, then I think it just kind of changes who we are, and we don't, we try to hold on to that.
Wow.
So.
Deep? Did he go deep?
That was good, bro.
That was deep.
I like that. And it's hard because you get everybody that wants your attention, right, on a daily basis. Sometimes you're like, God, this guy's gonna talk my ear off for an hour, right?
Yeah.
How do you handle that? I mean, you only have 8 hours of your day, and you're doing a million other things. How do you have other staff members that can jump in and pitch in? I think I've seen some other folks behind the counter here. Or do you really try to just be the face all the time?
We've been really, really fortunate to have good staff here work with us. And when we bring people on, that's kind of one of the main things. I've had experiences in the past where I didn't feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
So learning from that, that's kind of what I don't want people behind the counter acting like. You know what I mean? So that's always a big push for us when people come on board. It's like, hey, listen, you need to be able to talk to people and not make them feel stupid, because they already feel stupid coming in because they don't know anything about it.
What's going on?
So they feel out of place. The primary idea is welcome them in, like you almost like you're welcome into your house type thing. You're hosting. Right now we got Jordan and Jenna and Pete working with us, and
Awesome.
yeah, they do a really, really great job for sure.
That's cool.
Love you guys.
In the circle of people that have come through here, being in the size store that we have right now, we're only 1,700 square feet. We're a very small store. We went from 3,500 down to almost half the size. We've had great people come through and work here for either long amounts of time or short amount of time, and everybody kind of has their own skill set.
Yep.
Where I'm kind of more of the more modern stuff. We've had Nick Grosso, who's with the Federated, great outdoorsman, understands the industry, does some classes here. So I think everybody who comes through here kind of fits,
Yeah.
and is able to kind of handle different parts of the market.
Yep.
And just because we work so closely with each other, we are constantly, like Andre said originally, we're constantly learning from each other.
Gotcha.
So when we have the ability to work with somebody, we're able to learn from that. And if somebody comes in here and asks me about World War II stuff, I put them right on Jordan, because, again, I don't ever want to be, have some guy leave here. Can you believe that guy had no, I'd rather not be that guy. I'd rather listen to Jordan explain, something older, and then I can learn from it and then use it towards, my future conversation.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, we have a lot of regulars in here, and I think over the past 5 years we have worked really hard to create that customer service and expectation that people, choose to come here.
Yep.
That they see us doing that. And
Yeah.
so they know. I mean, there are some people that come in here like, hey, I need to get some ammo and grab out of here.
Scoop.
And a customer would be like, hey, just take care of them. They look like they're in a rush.
Yeah.
So I don't really think we get too much of the, oh my God, Will won't stop talking. Or they'll tell me,
Right.
because I'm definitely gift of the gab. But again, it's about that, and customers will look at each other like, and they'll be like, no, let it go. That's
cool.
why you're here.
Yes.
So
it's a culture.
it's definitely a culture. Yeah.
And you have to massage it every day.
That's one way of saying it.
Yeah.
Do you guys have an item of show and tell that you could grab? Something favorite around that we could kind of talk about it?
Yeah, sure. So one of the things that we have here at Big Bear that we specialize in is our Cerakote. That is a ceramic application that we put on firearms and we bake it in. And we can do everything from a single color or what they call a multicam. And this process is basically a coating that then gets baked into the metal. It is probably the hardest coating that you could put on a firearm. And our wait time on this is about 6 to 8 weeks. And people can get really creative with color, layout, design. We have been doing a bunch of these types of either rifles or shotguns for fire departments, police departments, people that are looking to raise money for an event, and we customize it to it, and then they will hold a raffle. So the raffle could raise anywhere. We've seen up to like $8,000, per firearm. Or if you're just one of those types of people that wants to have something a little bit custom, a little unique, this Cerakote application is probably something you'd want to get into. We have a very competitive pricing, depending on what style you want to go with. And, again, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to go from the beginning to the end. But if you're interested in Cerakote application, come here. I'll work with you on the design. And then our in-house Cerakote applicator will take it from there and put his own magic on it. Rob is our in-house guy. He owns a company called Armscraft. And every firearm that comes in gets pulled apart. The application is then put on, and then he puts everything back together, and then makes sure that the firearm functions, because we always choose function over looks. So we always want to make sure that we have some people that think it's going to save a little time by taking it all apart, or getting it and putting it back themselves. But at the end of the day, we need to make sure that this firearm is going to function and be safe. And by having our partnership with Armscraft, we're able to make that happen.
As we spoke about earlier, we have different seasons throughout the year that we like to accommodate and have different products on. And right now, because it's getting nicer, everyone's getting out to do sporting clays. So there's trap, skeet, and sporting clays. So the different games that people like to enjoy shooting little clay targets. This firearm in particular is a TriStar. It's made out in Turkey. Super affordable. I think this one comes in at around $400 or $500. So it's a perfect item for you if you're trying to get into the sport. You don't know if you're gonna like it or not. You don't want to dump, because you can spend $2,000, $3,000, $30,000 on shotguns for sporting clays. This one in particular is a very good starting point if you want to get into the sport and you're not sure if you're going to like it or not. That way you're not spending a lot of money. But look out, there's a turkey in town.
So new this year with the legislation that just passed, it is now legal to own a stun gun. So if you're looking for less lethal defense and protection, we now carry stun guns, and we also carry gel, mace. So if you're looking for anything that's a less deadly force, we have a full selection of mace and stun guns, and all legal now to use it in Rhode Island. Okay, so this does a couple. This calls for help. It also has a light on it. It's easy to carry, comes with a training video and causes intolerable pain.
And now you're going to demonstrate it?
Yes, Andre, come over here, please. Why do you have the knife?
Oh,
You're acting like a bad guy?
Give me your money.
Ah! Yeah! For more videos, check out our YouTube channel, Big Bear RI.
So thank you very much for that animated demonstration of the stun gun.
Yeah.
That was
It's gonna
Academy
take a
Award-winning
couple
quality.
days for me to heal, but I'll be all right.
And as we wrap up here, guys, is there any final words that you have for the viewers at home?
If you're in this industry or if you're looking to preserve this industry, go on the Book of Faces and look up the Federated Sportsmen's Club here in Rhode Island, and get involved with all of the events that help protect your Second Amendment rights in the state. We are under attack from people that want to take our rights away from us, and we all need to come together. I think the big message is that guns, unfortunately, are not the problem. We have other situations that I think lead for these big bad things that happen, without getting too crazy in it. But get involved with your local sporting clubs. Up here we have Wallem Lake, we have Smithfield Sportsman's Club, we have Highland, we have Tri-Town.
Oh, there's a bunch.
There's a bunch. Beagle Club, Manville.
Yeah.
So get involved with those local clubs. Come to a Federated Sportsman's meeting. There's lots of Facebook pages, like the Rhode Island CCW page. That's another one that you can kind of get on. And there's also a lot of great stores out there. A lot of us work well together. We're all kind of doing the same thing. Again, stores are all going to have different thing, their shtick, So, and all of us together are working to keep, your rights safe. And they're coming after everything. So don't think just because, you use a shotgun that they're not, going to come after you next. So
Yeah. Even if you're not, if you don't consider yourself a shooter, or if you don't want to be part of a club, there are multiple different organizations in the state. The Second Amendment Coalition, Rhode Island Rifle Revolver, and the Federated, like Will mentioned, they all work together to kind of try to preserve the Second Amendment. So huge shout out to those organizations for doing a lot of really, really hard work and getting the information out. Like Will mentioned, there's really just a call for everyone to participate and let your voice be heard. And then I think lastly, just check us out, www.bigbearri.com, Facebook page. We're on Twitter and
YouTube. You've got some really entertaining videos on YouTube. So
yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
Everything latest Big Bear is out there. So come check us out.
Cool. Thank you again. We'll
Thank you for
end how we started. And if you have any questions for me, I don't know why you would, put them in the comment field below. Once again, Greg Rice here at Big Bear. And we're in Chepachet, right? We're in the hamlet.
Gloucester is the town of Gloucester.
Gloucester?
Yeah.
And then
Harmony.
Harmony.
We're in Harmony.
That's right. I always mix up Harmony and Chepachet. This is Harmony.